And hello, welcome to From the Rubble, which is my Let's Build series set in a post-apocalyptic Minecraft world. Now we have multiple mods going here. If you remember last time, I'm trying to build an alternator to connect my Create mod stuff to my Thermal series mod stuff. And we were on the very verge of getting that done, except I ran into a problem with zinc plates, or zinc sheets, as they're really called. The problem is this, is that one mod, the Builder's Editions, has a version of zinc sheets, and I have another mod, which is the Create Deco mod, which makes zinc sheets. And to make the alternator from the Builder's Editions, I need the Builder's Edition zinc sheet, but when you smash it with a mechanical press, you get the the Create Deco version, and that didn't work for me. But I didn't have any way in game to change it. So, as you saw a second ago, I made a recipe in outside the game, and I basically can swap back and forth between the two, just starting a crafting grid. So now I can actually finish this alternator. Now I can't apparently feed iron ingots by hand into this thing from the side, but maybe I can do it from the top. My guess is I can't. Nope. So I'm gonna need to make a hopper, and I have access to wooden hoppers, so it's not that big a deal. I was testing the zinc sheet recipe, and I got used to JEI. So yes, we'll do it the old-fashioned way. I need a chest and 5 planks. Well, that's enough for a chest right there. So let's take that. And now I need 5 planks. And then I put the chest in the middle, put the planks around like so, in a Y formation. Or I guess a V formation, that works too. And we hop this puppy up. I'm all hopped up on team myself. Let's see. Now let's see if this works. If I pop this in there, disappeared, it's chewing on something. So there it goes, it's working. And rolling 2 iron rods. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. I for the first time in a long time, well, actually I was pretty confident we were going to finish this last time, so I guess I can't say I'm confident we'll finish for the first time, but iron rod goes in the middle of this thing, 6 iron sheets, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. Okay, so I have a grid of mechanical crafters already set up. I didn't mean to do that, but okay, that works. That is where it goes, so it's fine. You know, the thing is, the mechanical crafter has some peculiarities with it. I'll get to that in a minute. What else do I need? I need... Oh, I got the bits here. I can just craft that, right? Copper sheet, zinc sheet, and a redstone torch. So, redstone torch, copper sheet, zinc sheet. There we go. Well, somebody needs some mouthwash. Okay. So that is done, and that goes on the bottom center. You know, the way the mechanical crafters work, they kind of have to be directed into each other, and I'm pretty sure I need a wrench to make adjustments to that. And okay, that's not terribly difficult. We just need to squish some gold ingots. I hope I have enough gold. one of the downsides to doing these games is multiple series and on a schedule. It's roughly 2 weeks between episodes, and in 2 weeks I can forget what I have in storage or inventory. But to be fair, at my age, you don't need to wait 2 weeks. You know, I mean, it's not unusual for me to forget that, like, my glasses are on my head, or to make a plate of food for lunch and then forget that I had it ready, and I come back to it an hour later because I'm hungry, and then and I'm hungry to make another plate of food, but I find there's the last food that I made and I forgot I made it. So sometimes I worry that I'm going, you know, I have dementia or something, but apparently it's pretty universal with a lot of folks my age, so maybe we're all losing it, but at least I'm in good company, so there you go. Okay, there's one. Huh. Yeah, it's not doing anything. It just, the other two are immune. Let's pick them up and throw them down one at a time. And that didn't work either. Okay, throw it down and step back. There we go. Oh boy, what a dance. And, you know, I don't really know about the effectiveness of throwing something on the ground and smashing it into the dirt and grass with a big pounding device like this. It just would bury it in the dirt and grass, I think, but I'll go with it, right? Quick and easy. Okay, I'm gonna need a gear. I got those, and a stick. Voila. Okay, let's wrench this thing. There we go. So you kind of need all of them pointing to a final square like that. That'll work, I think. Okay. It's been a while since I made something with a mechanical crafter. It's kind of a pain in the butt. It's not necessarily my favorite aspect of the Create mod, but it's their solution for making complex multi-part machines, right? What immersive engineering would do is you would actually construct a complex machine in the game world, right? You had to put down certain pieces in a certain place in a certain way, and then once the right combination was all set up, you could use a tool to basically assemble it into a full machine. And man, was that... I liked it. I liked the idea, but man, was it picky. But I mean, realistically, that's the way it'd be. This is pointing down. I'm assuming I need to have like a container or something down there. A depot, a chest. Let's see. Copper spools. Needs a spool. Oh, that's easy. And you get 16 of them. So that's super. I just need to smash some more iron. Guess what? I need to also set my mechanical press back up. And we'll go ahead and squish this iron into the wet, soggy ground. Because that seems to apparently work. Okay. Okay. Let's see. And then I need nuggets first. There we go. Nugget in the middle. It's kind of like an iron sandwich, is what it is. And I got 16 spools. Okay, now I need to make the copper wire. I'm going to put 1 copper sheet, great, into the roller and get 2 wire. I need 3 of these. Each of these needs 4 wires, so that means I need 12 wires, and there's 2 per, so I got to put 6 copper sheets in, I think. Yeah. So 4 times 3 divided by 2. Okay, let's try it. Got myself second guessing myself. So there's 6. And squishing stuff into the wet muddy ground is working, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I like the smooth, refined textures of the Lithos HD resource pack. It's just that the one for copper ingot here, it looks like a loaf of bread. You wouldn't want to bite into that or try to make a sandwich out of it, but and of course, everything else is still 16 by 16, so the exchange looks pretty harsh. But I mean, it's one of my things I eventually want to do is come up with 32 by 32 textures for all the stuff that Lithos doesn't cover. I mean, the Lithos guys, talented group of folks. And they do a fantastic job, but they've had their hands full working on just the vanilla texture set for a long time. And with the sheer number of mods out there, I mean the sheer number of mods I have, it would be crazy to expect them to be able to retexture everything. Well, it would be I guess it wouldn't be crazy to expect it. It would be crazy to expect them to actually deliver on it, right? So, but you know, if you're Elon Musk and you're hearing this, you know, I mean, you basically fart more money in a day than I make in my entire life. So you know, you feel like supporting some artists and modders, you know, shell out some bucks. They could do this as a full-time gig. And the world would be a little bit better place. I don't expect that request to go be taken seriously, but so let's see if that's not working. See, it should just work auto-magically, right? That's not what I meant to do. I meant to move it to the square in front like this. There we go. That doesn't work either. I think I'm doing something wrong. So let's ponder the situation. Or actually, let's try depot. Let's try the depot, and that's not working either. No, everything's pointing the right direction. Okay, now let's ponder the situation. Mechanical crafter. And action. Yep. Yep. Got that part. All paths converge into one exit at any side. Ooh, gotta put the side. Output. You know what else I just realized? You can't have any blanks. In other words, there's a thing you can get that you can plug into the empty crafters, and so you know they're like placeholders. I think they're made of brass. I don't want to have to make brass to do that. I think I can just kill off the mechanical crafters I'm not using, and that'll do it. Right, so let's see if we can knock those out. And then just use the crafters that have an item in them. Oh gosh. Yeah, it tossed everything out all over the place. Okay. And my inventory's full. Okay, okay, this is annoying. Let's see if I can pick this stuff back up. And then let's finish knocking these out. And let's fix the floor. Let's wrench this. Everything to the side. Oh yeah, forgot to take the rest of them out. Okay. Oops. Okay, it's carving away the excess. I think it was Michelangelo says that they ask him like, how does he, sculpt, right? Because he made some fantastic sculptures. The sculpture's already there. He's just releasing it from the marble. So, just chipping away the parts that don't belong. It's a cool story. But, okay. Knock out these corners. Ooh, if I do that, I won't be able to keep power going. So, let's get everything pointed back inside, and then we'll have to make a cog. Need one of these. I think I have. Yep, I got points. Okay. Put that. Oh, that's not what I want. You're just trying to be difficult now. That's all I can say. Actually, let's try building it this way. There we go. Okay, we're back. We're back online. Okay, that's right. Let's see. The iron rod goes in the middle, and this thing goes in the bottom center, and this thing goes on the tippy top. And then it's just a matter of cables around the center, copper wires, I guess, and a bunch of iron sheets. Ooh! Look, stuff is happening. Things are moving. I don't have a place for it to go though, so here we go. And everything gets pushed and shoved to here. We auto-magically become the item we're making, and there it goes. And I can't open this because the crafter's in the way. And there we go. I got an alternator. I can now live my alternator lifestyle. Okay. Seems pretty straightforward. The input RPM, yeah. Okay. So let's go over here. Yeah, guys. Oh. I can clean some of this up here. This way it won't be using energy that this thing might need. So I can take this out, and the hopper and the chest. Make sure there's nothing in the chest. We're good. Oh, the chest went in there and it's burning it up. Okay. Didn't know you could burn chests. Good to know. So I think what we'll do is we'll grab our rotational power from over here. Will somebody get that guy a glass of water? Okay, and then we're gonna have to turn for every season. Turn. So let's put this down. Nope, that is the exact opposite of what I want. I want the shaft widget on the back. So let's go this way and try to push it on the edge, and that's not gonna work. Let's put it this way. I'll put it on the edge. Somehow I got the same results. Okay, let's assume that if I actually have... No. Let's assume that if I have a rotation... If I have rotational force available, it'll line up on that automatically, right? So if I take this... I'm going to have to turn it horizontal. Okay. If I take this and plop it down, now let's assume that if I plop this down, it's going to line up with my energy source. I was right. Okay. So it's working. It appears the alternator is not rotating enough. Oh, I need more speed, huh? As they say, I feel the need for speed. Okay. Yeah, there's a fancy speed control that requires a precision mechanism, but I'm gonna do the down and dirty, which is a big cog and a little cog, but I don't really have the space to do it right, and I'm getting so frustrated facing challenge after challenge. I'm gonna take a shortcut here, not make it as pretty or as proper as it should be. What is a big cog anyway? It is 2 planks and a shaft. Okay, I do have some shafts left. A couple planks. Oh, I got lots of shafts left. Okay. So let's see. I can throw. I have 1 plank. I need more than 1 plank. Okay. So I need 2 of these. Well, actually, I need a little cog, so that'll work. And now I need 2 planks. I'm giving me a big cog. That'll work. Let me see. What I want is I want to start with the bigger cog and then do the little cog, yeah? So big cog. And then get the little cog. Can't. I'm gonna have to put it on a diagonal, right? Not that one. I want there it goes. There we go. Now it's higher than I wanted, but okay. We'll figure a way out. We actually need 2 of these. And yeah, I will need 2 of these. So take this one, turn it vertical, and then mark it this way. Turn the other one this way. Add a shaft in between. Oh, I hear stuff. Okay. It's a smelter. There we go. It is generating power. Slowly but surely. So, I would say we're cooking with gas, just out of habit. But we're not cooking with gas, we're cooking with RF energy. So, it looks like everything's working. It's hard to tell because a new one pops in right away. Like, if we watch it finish, we don't see any difference here because it already filled one in so fast. Just like the one that we finished went out so fast. Well, I mean, that's the good news. We finally got this part done. That saves me from having to make charcoal every 5 minutes, but the next step I'll have to think about. I'm not in any mental or emotional state to think it through now, but I would like to come up with automate the rest of the concrete creation process. But for now, I just want to pick up a bunch of this stuff, throw it in the hopper, and let it do its thing. And I'd actually like to get back to the actual building that we've been working on, our central shaft, because I'm running into a bit of an organizational storage problem, and so I would like to get the central shaft up and running at least to the storage level. I'd love to get it all the way up, and then we can start making proper storage and stuff. Now, I believe we're using, I know we're using storage drawers. Yeah, it's working. But I believe, you know, let's grab, let's grab the flint and throw it in here, and maybe it'll get it some sand at the same time. I think that's what that does, right? While we're getting gravel, we'll get more sand. But I definitely need the gravel. Yeah. Yep, okay, it's making sand all right. And let's take all this down. I don't need this stuff to be hanging out here just in case. Starting to look kind of convoluted out here. Yes, all that works. Okay. Gosh, that was a draining process. That was, oh my gosh. But it's up and running. Thinking about, oh my gosh, I need more space, I think, to make a concrete factory. And it's still March 5th. It's been March 5th, I think, for like 20 episodes, but I might double check again. I did check, and it seems to be working in Greifenhorst and New Londinium. Okay. So, look at all the weird stuff I got. Ghost pepper seeds? When did I pick those up? Well, I actually have ghost peppers themselves, too. Wooden chest. Weird, man. I don't remember that. Okay, that can go back. And that can go back. That can go someplace. I'll just... The problem is with between Create and the Thermal series and then Vanilla Minecraft, there's just too many minerals and metals for me to use my usual sorting mechanism. Yeah, I am hurting for space here. Let's just throw stuff into the holes. Let's block these out. Okay. Goes here. It goes here. Angus is still making a racket back there. And I'll keep that. Because you never know when a wrench will come in handy. these ghost pepper seeds. I'm not growing them yet. So I think this is where I'm putting stuff I'm not growing yet. I could have sworn I had one back here someplace. Right? That just seems more logical to me. Yep, there it is. Stuff I'm not growing yet. I'll go get it later. Strawberry seeds, huh? Oh, I'm not growing ducks yet. Well, we'll hold on to that in case I want to grow ducks. Okay. So let's go up, grab whatever gravel that is available now, and we'll start some gravel cooking into slag. And I've said my piece about slag many times over, so I won't repeat it here. Anyway, you know, that is a key element though, using waste products as material for proper products. And I've been playing a bit of Satisfactory lately, and they do that a lot, right? Especially when you get to the point where you're producing power through oil-based generators or fuel-based generators, right? To make the fuel, you got to find crude oil. Let's take it off. Maybe not. I think I have sand back at the our storage. I mean, I know I have sand. I'm pretty sure I have enough. Anyway, when you take the crude oil and you refine it, and that makes the fuel you burn in the generator. But then you have this. They don't call it slag. They call it like, you know, leftover polymer or whatever. Actually, it depends on the recipe you pick, because you can also have like heavy crude, which is... Anyway, there's a number of different things you can make, and a number of those things will leave different aspects of... I don't have as much sand or gravel in here as I thought I did. Got a lot of slag, though. Anyway, and then you can use that in other processes to either refine it further, maybe get fuel or something like that, or into plastic or rubber. And, you know, it's... I don't know if that's not nearly as much concrete as I thought. It's a lot. And that sand is not nearly as much as I thought I had. Oh boy. So let's make some concrete here. I need some, this will work, charcoal, making the black dye. And make the charcoal into the black dye, combine the black, oh, I need white dye, hold on. Make a bunch of white dye. Make the white dye with the black dye and the gray dye. Take the gray dye with the white dye, make the light gray dye. And it seems like a lot, but it goes real fast. So let's see. Plop that in there. Put it in the middle. I need four stacks of slag. And 4 stacks of sand. Light gray concrete powder. Same thing here. Yeah, I need more sand. I might have to go do a sand run, but I don't really have the storage for sand run at the moment, so... Okay, got all these. Take them. Let's go cure the stuff I just made. Let's get the slag out of there. Ooh, all these we'll use. I need more space in my inventory, so let's see. Let's go into the backpack. Anyway, so this idea of manufacturing with waste material, it's kind of like a happy marriage between capitalism and environmentalism, right? Because normally in a capitalistic society, you do what you need to do to make money, and you know, so you use up your resources and you use it to generate goods and services, and that makes you money. But if you create a good, and as a result you have some leftover stuff that you would normally throw away into a landfill or an environment or whatever, but it turns out you can use that stuff for something else, which also makes you money. You know, regardless of how they feel about the environment, a good capitalist is going to go with that, because it's like, that's free money right there, right? And something like oil, I mean, let's face it, it's a fossil fuel. It's really bad for the environment in lots of ways, but they've really learned how to... Okay. They've really learned over the years how to get like every last molecule of value out of the oil, right? Because you make the oil and you refine it into, the crude oil. You refine it into a number of different fuels, so it can be refined in a jet fuel, gasoline, kerosene. And the thing is if you refine it in gasoline, and then part of the leftovers, I think they can make into kerosene and diesel, right? So it's not like you need a fresh batch of oil to make that stuff. And then with what's left over from that, you can make plastic and blah, 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 blah. Now, with that being said, I was going to say, well, they've gotten really efficient and clean with their use of material. Well, then when you look at these places like where they're pumping oil, right? Sometimes you see these oil fields, and you can see that these the oil fields have like these constant flames, you know, spewing out of a tower or multiple towers. And what that is you know, they're pumping the oil out, but oftentimes you'll find natural gas with the oil. And if they, you know, natural gas is also a very valuable commodity. You could take it and do something with it, but if they don't want to, or they can't afford to, or they just don't want to deal with the hassle, they burn it, right? Because you can't just let a bunch of gas out. That would be bad. So they burn it, which is only marginally better than letting a bunch of gas out, right? So, I mean, you know, you burn it in a controlled fashion versus letting it out and hope nothing explodes. But, yep. You know, there's other instances where stuff like that happens, like, wow, there's a zombie in the neighborhood. Yeah. So, during the colonial era, the U.S. colonial era, actually, much of the colonization of America was characterized by the sugar trade, right? And you know, you got sugar cane, and you know, you boil the sugar cane to get the sugar out of it, and you get the refined sugar, but that's not all you get, right? You also get molasses. And while, you know, a lot of people go for the refined sugar, molasses is a mighty fine sweetener unto itself. It's definitely got kind of a smoky flavor to it, but and this is the thing, like, if you look at like a lot of old colonial American recipes and such, it was all part of the slave trade, the triangle, right? So they would kidnap people in Africa and bring them to the Caribbean. Then the ship would pick up the sugar cane from the... hold on. Here. He's on fire. Is he still on fire? Oh, yeah. Anyway. So they would pick up slaves in Africa. They would come to the Caribbean, drop off the slaves, pick up sugar cane, which they would then cart to colonial New England, or the colonies, where they would boil and refine the sugar into sugar, which was then shipped back to England, which then would send the ships back down to get more slaves. That was the triangle, right? but they did the processing of the sugar in the United States, or what was the American colonies. And the sugar went to England or Britain, and what was left, the molasses, stayed here. And that's why a lot of colonial American recipes, old-fashioned recipes, that was between that and maple syrup, those were the sweeteners of choice, right? That's what people had. And that whole colonial exploitation is what would eventually lead to the famine in Ireland. They call it the potato famine, but it was a famine. And to be brutally honest, it wasn't a famine per se. I mean, normally we have a famine because the area can't produce enough food to feed the populace. And yeah, it was a rough season or time for the Irish in Ireland. So they were actually still producing plenty of food. What caused the famine really is that all that food was being produced again for British markets, not Irish markets, not Irish people. So the Irish were producing tons of food, which then got shipped to Britain, leaving very little left for the Irish. So, and a lot of Irish folk got fed up and went to greener pastures, which is pretty hard to do. If you've ever been to Ireland, it is the greenest place I've ever been. And that's a statement because, of course, I grew up kind of in the desert. So, when I was stationed to England, I grew up in Southern California, which, if it wasn't watered with water stolen from Central California and the Colorado River, it would be pretty brown. Most of it would be really, really brown. And I was used to that, right? But when I went to the United Kingdom, I lived in England for a couple of years, I was amazed at how green everything was. I was just floored, right? I was like, oh, this is the greenest place I've ever been. Yeah, until I went to Ireland. And they call it the Emerald Isle for good reason, right? Southern California seemed green to me till I went to Britain. Now it seemed brown. And then Britain seemed pretty green to me till I went to Ireland. And then Britain seemed pretty brown. But and then the funny story behind that is, I was stationed in the UK for 2 years. I didn't come home. And then when I did come home, I returned to San Diego, and my parents had moved to Lakeside, which is quite a ways inland. And in the San Diego area, the closer you are to the coast, the greener and nicer things are. If you go like 20 miles inland, everything is very, very brown. It's like only green for like a couple weeks of the winter. Anyway, my mom picked me up, and she was driving back to the house. And as I'm looking at all the eucalyptus trees and stuff, I'm thinking, man, they look brown. Are they even alive? And my mom's going, isn't it great? We just got rain the past couple weeks, and look at how green everything is. Yeah, Mom, it's green. Wow. Practically tropical. It's all about perspective. Anyway. Okay. So we essentially have all the space carved out. Now it's just a matter of building up. So the ratios on this build are different than what I'm used to, because we are building on the chunk grid, right? And that is partly because of the scale I'm building at, and partly because, that is what this game world's built on, right? The Lost Cities mod buildings on the chunk grid, so that all works out. But usually, I'm building, New Londinium is from essentially the Victorian and Edwardian eras, and that's a time of very high ceilings. And Greifenhorst is medieval, and that's a place of very low and very high ceilings, depending on how much money you got. But this is based on postmodern, not postmodern like art style. Postmodern like modern died. This is the post-apocalypse, right? This is, you know. So, but the building is going to be based off of the modern standard. And I don't know. I mean, maybe you have one of those fancy houses that has a 12-foot entryway, but most of us, if you're reasonably tall, you can almost touch a ceiling if you kind of stand on your tippy toes and reach up, right? So that's a pretty low ceiling compared to what I would normally build at. And in this world, that means a height of 4 blocks. Now, 4 blocks is 4 meters, and that's pretty darn high, but it doesn't seem so high in Minecraft. I don't ask me why. It is built to scale. The scale just seems off, but anyway. Of course, now that we're ramping up, we're not gonna, you know, the ceiling here will be based off of the ramp above as it corkscrews upwards. And the gentleness of the slope is based off of 2 factors, 2 reasons. One, the scale of the central core, right? It's not a central staircase. It's 4 elevator shafts, and then we're building this ramp around the elevator shafts. And so if I try to make it stairs, it'd be a pretty massive staircase. The other thing too is it's actually not designed for foot traffic. I mean, that's what the elevators are for. If you're on foot, take the elevator. But it's actually designed for vehicular traffic. You got one there. And so this gentle sloping pathway is really for vehicles. And we got those. We got them. Now, I don't know if I'll want to drive all the way down, but I mean, the idea there is like, you know, they'll have multiple levels, and you don't want to like drive from the surface down to your house. That would be, you know, going afoot. But we do want to have access down to our subway system, because then you could put vehicles on a subway and take it someplace. Now, don't know many people taking their cars on the subway in real life, but you know, just in terms of practicality, it's, I mean, yeah, now I think about it, it is kind of weird, but I'm this far along, right? It's just, it all started with, when I first started building these large underground bases down to bedrock. You know, you would take your horse to the surface, and then you would go on foot all the way down to the subway at the bottom, and then you go someplace, and when you come out the other side, you go all the way up, and then there's no horse, right? You left your horse behind. So the idea was to make something that I could ride my horse all the way down to the subway, and then you could take the subway someplace, and you had your horse when you got there at the other end. Oops, that's not the right block. Ooh, that's not the right tool. This guy is really bugging me. I love these guys, and I hate these guys. It's, I guess that makes it by definition a love-hate relationship. I mean, he's constantly clearing his throat and stuff, which, as a person who's constantly clearing my throat in real life, I can sympathize with. But even I'm not that bad, and then regardless of how bad I am, I don't stand in your way. I mean, this is like typical like cat behavior, right? Oh, you're doing something and I want your attention, so I will stand, sit, or whatever in the middle of whatever you're doing to grab your attention, because I'm the most important thing going, look at me. So yes, the was it the goblin merchant, or whatever he is he has a lot in common with certain politicians. That's anyway. So, and it drives me nuts. Okay. Block this out. So I don't know about you guys. I'm sure there's some people in the world who are pretty thrilled with how the world is going at the moment. I'm not one of them. I don't know anybody who is. But I do know that gaming is a welcome break from the real world. Right? Come in here and take a load off, right? Put your feet up, make some stuff. I gotta do these too. Just relax. And you know, now I'm back at work now. I made that announcement in this series yet. I made it on the preceding episodes of the other series, but yeah, I'm back at work now. I'm earning a paycheck, which is a huge relief to both my wife and me, and the bank. They're kind of thrilled about that. And while I say it's a huge relief, right? So there goes one set of stressors, and opens up a whole new set of stressors. Like just night before last, I had a hard time sleeping because I'm the new kid on the block. I'm still learning everything about the team and stuff, and they you know, they were in bad shape before I got there. So some of the people who are like totally overworked are dumping their responsibilities on me, which is why they hired me, right? So I'm okay with it, but didn't give me a lot of chance to catch up or get my breath before they did it. And I was having a hard time sleeping because I'm a little worried about presenting to bigwigs at a meeting that I don't yet really know what I'm talking about, right? And it's like, oh, they're going to have questions, and, you know, I need to study, and as it turns out, the meeting went swimmingly, so there you go. And talked to my boss. She's so happy. I mean, she was happy I was there before, but after that meeting and some other stuff I've done, she's just like, this is why we hired you. I'm so thrilled. So good. It's kind of a good news, bad news situation because if you're, you know, the old days, that's all I wanted to hear, right? Just like the boss loves the work I'm doing. I'm not going to go anywhere because the boss can't live without me. But we don't live in that type of world anymore, right? And so even if the boss can't live without me, the company might decide they can. Or even worse, they might decide they can live without me and my boss and the whole team, which is how I got laid off the last 2 times. Had nothing to do with me, had everything to do with, you know, the team I was on. And so there's that, right? And I think that's just the reality of the economy for the next few years, especially with all the uncertainty with going on with the oil crisis and everything else, right? People who run corporations, they still got to make money. They're still responsible to the shareholders. So this is where I would start. This would be the ceiling level. Then there would be a layer above that, the conduit level, where we would run redstone or whatever. And then the next level would be the floor of the floor above. So. And I don't want to just put like all of the same tile on top. I want to add something. So I think this... Oh, just realized these are missing. Yeah, go ahead, use it. So that... And let's get rid of these. Tough break. There we go. There we go. Anyway. Though, I gotta tell you, right? The guys making decisions about layoffs and stuff. Yeah, I just need to make a proper pickaxe. Hold on. You know, when executives make decisions, you know, they make decisions for all of us little people. It doesn't affect them. I mean, they still go home at night to their McMansion and they're happy. And if you were laid off, best case scenario, you get severance package or something. Typically, that's pretty rare. Unless you have like some type of really big position or salary or something. But that's the thing. Like, even when executives do get laid off or fired, they get golden parachutes, right? It's not that unusual. I've seen executives that were fired by the board, and their severance pack, you know, this curbing is kind of cool. Why did I not do it on the ramp? I'd like to do that on the ramp. So let me get, can't make the slabs. I mean, I can make the slabs. I can't make slabs from slabs. So anyway, yeah, so when executives lose their job, they often get compensation packages. Like, I saw a guy who got fired by the board. They paid him 25. Well, A, I don't want to be down in here. And 2, I don't want to be down here with him. Goblin trader, get out of there. Move. Thank you. Anyway, the guy got fired, and his package for getting fired was $25 million. Now, I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. But if you fire a guy because he's not performing, in my world, the textures don't link for slabs. They link for blocks, but not for slabs. You know, it doesn't look all that bad, though. It would look better if they did connect, but I'm okay with this. Anyway, it just blows my mind, right? If I'm not doing a good job and I get fired, they say there's a door and don't let it hit you on the way out, right? This guy got fired, and here's $25 million. And put it in scale, my entire life's savings, earnings, everything I ever bought, everything I ever earned, everything my parents bought and earned, and let's throw my sister in there for good effect. Well, and my wife too. All of us put together, all of our spending power all together is not $25 million. Right? So the guy got fired and was paid more than my entire family has ever earned in the past 2 generations. Oh man, I don't think I can save it. Let's try the axe. Well, nope, it's gone. It's gone. Anyway. And this is, you know, not to harp on the situation too much, but these are guys, they typically have 2, 3, 4 houses, every one of which is much bigger than my house, much bigger than what they probably need, right? I mean, if you're talking about your energy footprint, they've got footprints like Sasquatch. And and obviously, if you have multiple, how many houses can you live in at the same time, right? So they're not even living in most of them most of the time. And they need more. They always need more. That's always been the thing that's baffled me by the ultra rich, right? At what point do you just say, yeah, it's good. I'm good. I'm going to take it easy now, right? And I guess if you're the type of person who's earning money and building a fortune, right? Like an Elon Musk or a Bill Gates, you know, I can see how at some point earning the money is kind of like the scoreboard, and once you're scoring points, it's hard to stop, right? It's the thrill of the chase type of thing. Now, it looks like Bill Gates is mostly grown out of that, and he's actually in what I would call the Nobel or the Carnegie mode, right? These guys were. You know, they're part of the generation of the robber barons, where they created stuff not that. That's not what I want. They created stuff, made a lot of money, and then they generally felt obligated to return something back to the society from which they took so much. And that was good stuff. As opposed to the guys who just took the money and ran. The Jay Goulds and such. But yeah. And of course you understand the idea too that once you got the money, you don't want anybody else taking your money, right? I mean, I think we're all like that. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not rich, not by a long shot, but I got some money and I certainly don't want anybody to take it. I need that. Especially now because I'm at that age. What is there? Okay. There was something there, and now there's two somethings there, and I can't see either one. Anyway, I'm at an age, when you're 20 or something, you're just living life. I mean, you're having a tough time getting started, right? And when you're not trying to get started, you're just trying to enjoy yourself, especially because now your life's your own. You're free to choose. It's a fun time. When you start getting older, especially if you get married and start having kids, obligations start beating you about the head and shoulders, and then you start changing your attitude, right? And for some people it happens sooner than later, but at some point you realize you got to start buckling down and saving and all that jazz, and you do, right? And then you're thinking, yeah, I'm doing okay, but you don't really start to worry about it until you're within like a decade or maybe a decade and a half away from retirement, and now it starts to become an obsession because you finally had enough. You just had it, right? You're like, I've put in my time, I've done my bit, now I want to go fly fishing for the rest of my life or something. And you start to have these dreams of retirement, but it's hard to have these dreams of retirement because in the news they'll turn around and say, well, inflation's going, inflation's at 3%, 5%, 10%. And you're like, no, because the more inflation goes up, the more money you need to save before you retire, because you don't want to retire and then wind up having to eat ramen for the rest of your life. And incidentally, ramen is not as cheap as it used to be. And that's the thing, right? Yeah, your plans start going haywire. Like right now, gas prices and the volatility in the stock market, it's really doing a number on my retirement fund, and I'm about 9 years away from tapping into that, right? And if this cuckoo-ness keeps going for another year or two, that's another year or two of lost earnings, and it can make the difference between we could sometimes go out and eat to like we're eating we're going to have a garden to survive type of thing in retirement. Or I will be a Walmart greeter for the rest of my life because I need the extra money. I'll be that guy who's 75 years old and still going to work at the retail place every day. Nothing wrong with that. It's a harsh way to go. I want to wrap up that level before I sign off. I just realized how late it is. I just gabbing, just shooting the breeze, blah 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 blah. But that's all part of my therapy. I mean, that's what this is. I mean, it's I guess you can call it video game therapy. I'm in here just doing my thing, and I'm finding a peace and satisfaction, a feeling of accomplishment that it's hard to get in the real world, in the outside world, right? I mean, well, I mean, you can't build a base in hours in real life, right? It's going to take years to get the same sense of accomplishment. And here I am, you know, doing a month's worth of work, of real life work, in less than an hour. But yeah, I think it gives you that sense of accomplishment. Plus, you know, if you build a comfy environment, this is starting to look pretty good. You know, we've covered it before, right? It kicks off all those endorphins in your brain, makes you happy, and going back to what I said before, there's a lot of weird stuff going on right now. Find what makes you happy, and you know, embrace it. You can't escape reality forever. And if you're going for a chemical escape, like drugs or something, well, that just wreaks havoc on your body and your life. I guess video games could cause you problems with your body and life too, but I'd like to think they're kinder, gentler in nature, and it's easier to shake, right? I mean, if you are escaping through you know, games like I do, don't forget to go outside and touch grass. I mean, don't just go outside, touch the ground, and go back in, but yeah, get out in the real world, do some stuff, and then come back and play your game. So this is today's accomplishment. That, and you know, it's not much to look at. And it might not seem like a big deal to you, but it took me like, what, 4 episodes? 3, 4, I don't know, something like that. It took me forever to get this thing going. And, you know, there's all sorts of roadblocks and hazards on the way, but it's done. And now, of course, we also have all the bits needed to do it again if we need to. So we can do more of these as needed. And I'm mighty happy about that. I'm thrilled about that. You know, this is, if I was a little kid, I'd take a picture and put it on the refrigerator, because that's how big a deal this is. At the very least, I should get a participant ribbon. But anyway, it's been fun. I had fun. I got stuff done, which I don't get to say all the time. And I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it means you'll come back. I hope it means you'll leave a like, you'll comment, subscribe, join our members group, and come back again and again. And I'm really looking forward to it. So until that time, I hope this finds you and yours in good health, good spirits, and perhaps just a touch of good fortune. Cheers.